The most predictable thing Sally did all episode was order a Miami Vice. Whitney, you watch your mouth when you're talking about my people, or else we'll put a curse on you. And Craig continues to be the most divisive person on Bravo. Welcome to Showmance, guys, the #1 show on YouTube doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Show's as shallow as any spiritual awakening could be when it's derived from a friendship circle and a lukewarm mug of cacao. Cacao!
Listen,
Have you ever had cacao?
That's chocolate milk, right? Like
No,
hot chocolate?
it is not. It is not tasty.
Fancy hot chocolate.
No, it is not. It is like bitter, and it's cacao before it turns into chocolate.
So fancy hot chocolate.
No, it's not though. It doesn't taste like it at all.
Nature's hot chocolate.
Yeah, like, if someone's like, oh, here, I just pulled this radish out of the ground and brushes a little bit of dirt off of it.
Let me tell you. This is no fault of your own. You could have never guessed this. But literally worst analogy you could have ever come up with for me.
You used to do that with like your grandpa or your mima. Or
My dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't even like radishes until he built a gigantic garden with everything. And one day pulled radishes out of the garden, like just pulling shit out of the garden. When I was like, this isn't even going to work. Like however many months ago, he put a little boop down there. Yeah. And washing it off and eating it is... I never experienced anything like it. It is like, if all else fails, I want to have a garden in the backyard. If I don't get my compound, which isn't looking likely, then I'll go for a little garden, like one of those Home Depot ones.
I have them. They're great.
Yeah.
The only problem is I got all the aminals up in the hills, and I had to move my garden inside because they were eating all my food.
I was driving home from work that I don't really want to do anymore, and three little coyotes walking down the hill, looking for some kittens.
Every time, when I go home, there's this one spot that like a coyote family lives there, and they'll be in the middle of the street. And sometimes I get real close to them, and I roll my window down, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
What's up?
Do they ever answer you?
Visually, energetically, they do. Whitney, energetically, we talk about it. But you know what I mean? Like, I live for stuff like that. But like to the person with the average, I'm not a vegetable palate kind of person, I feel like that might be disgusting to someone. And that's what cacao.
Coyote?
No. Like the vegetable right out of the ground. Like, that's my dream. But most people are like, ugh, give me a Carl's Jr.
I mean...
That's
if I had radish out of the ground, Carl's Jr., I'd probably picking Carl's Jr.
Yes, I'm picking the radish.
Yeah, when your dad handed you that, it wasn't one hand.
Yeah, I didn't have macaroni and cheese going on the stove. It was, this is what we eat now. Like, okay, dude, whatever.
Yeah.
Mom makes mac and cheese. This is bullshit.
Anyway, it's disgusting. It's very bitter and not good.
Well, I'm going to continue to think that it's fancy Amazonian hot chocolate until I taste otherwise.
Anything that a shaman type person hands me, I know it's going to be disgusting.
It's
just it usually has jugs in it.
Jugs?
Jugs.
It's called plant medicine.
Listen,
Natalie.
Can we do this though? Like until I see a shaman type that's not a white kid from like Calabasas.
She wasn't a white kid from Calabasas. She was Mexican.
She wasn't, but she probably worked at the resort or something.
Well, shaman's got to pay rent too.
Listen, sure, but like. I don't know, man. It's that there just are always some kid from Calabasas with like a weave of dreadlocks.
Like, wait, who's that guy?
His
Adam
Spanish
Duritz from the Counting Crows?
Yeah.
Just watched a documentary on him. He went through a lot of depression.
That band was so good.
I would
we
too
were
with
just
that
talking
hair.
about it.
I love the Counting Crows. I actually saw them in concert.
I like him, but I don't like the hair, and he's a dirty hippie.
Well, he got rid of the hair now.
Good for him. When I was listening to him, he had the hair, so... It's too late.
I'm just letting you know they sound real good live. Like I saw them maybe like 3 years ago.
Yeah, no, they're legit rock and roll band.
Yeah. Should we get into it?
Yeah,
this
people have
episode's
probably
so
all
dumb.
clicked off by now. This episode was pretty dumb. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it felt like they are like, oh no, we have one episode left, so let's save it, like stuff for the finale, and we'll just give literally over 20 minutes. From minute 22 on, and I assume it was 42, 43 minutes, whatever, they didn't really discuss anything. It was all of like the sweat lounge and the or sweat lodge. I'm sorry, whatever the kids are calling it. A hippie circle.
The sweat womb is what it was called.
a sweat womb. I didn't even catch that. Gross.
Yeah, that was the whole experience. You're going back into the womb and going to rejuvenate.
But usually when they do that, like when they did it on the Valley, they went on their healing trip to Santa Barbara or wherever they were in Santa Barbara. They would go person by person and like ask them questions, and then you know they would have the chance to react to something or answer or whatever, reply, and you're getting somewhere. This was just watching like people that are some kind of shaman, whatever kind you're comfortable with. Just like I said, hand them cups, mugs of stuff, and make sure to say with love to everyone. And I don't know, I thought it was just a wasted, like who needed to see 20 minutes of that? Yeah,
I mean, we'll get to it later, but I had like it. You watched the episode before me and you were like, it's a weird episode, kind of sucked. It was half just everyone talking about how mad at Craig they were, and the other half all these experiences, but not really anything. Guts. Yeah, no guts. And then when I watched that, I was like, I would have probably done the heat womb thing, and I would have been competitive about it, and I would have enjoyed staying the whole time, and like I think not enjoyed it like that way, but like when Craig bounced, I was like, dude. And then when Whitner bounced, I was like, oh, you guys are pussies.
None of the women bounce.
Listen, we're going to jump in so far ahead, but did you notice too, when everyone came out, Whitner was like, hey boys, there's a seat right here. But he specifically said boys. And I don't know if it was a subconscious, like, the boys are going to need to sit down because they're not going to be able to handle coming out of the womb and into the fresh air, but the women will be fine. Yeah. Anyway, just something I picked up on. But it just seemed like everyone who was in there, their facial expressions. Why we're jumping so far ahead?
I don't know, especially because it's like what you're talking about is like the only. It's like one of the 2 minutes we're gonna have to talk about, like that anything really happened.
Yeah, it just like I felt like there was a lot that people wanted to say. I felt like there was actual experiences happening in that hour and 15 minutes.
Okay, well, we'll get there.
Yeah. Well, she got me all fired up.
Blame it on Natalie. What?
Blame it on the rain.
Okay. So we start off with the end of that bus ride.
But do you think I'm in focus?
Let's hope so.
Well, I mean, I'm the only one that wasn't sitting down when you were doing it. So
listen, I do it.
I can't tell. And I think it's because I'm TikToking all night long. And so my eyesight is going.
Okay. So we reconvene on the bus ride from hell. And Craig did say something towards whatever the end of what they showed us that I was just like, oh, that's really bad. When Sally was crying, he's like, oh, wait, hold on. I wrote the exact quote. Oh, we're so sad at how we get punched back. And I was just, yes, she picks and it pokes and is annoying and gets in your face. Yeah. But like, that's not good, bro. Like for you to talk like that, for you to mock her like that. She's crying. Just cool it. Just shut up.
No,
you hit brain. Well, we're done. We're good. You don't need to keep going.
Nothing about, and I wasn't here last week. And what's actually funny is that I had no idea that you would be so calm about Craig last week. And I had done so much work on the episode before we started, not knowing that I was going to get a migraine and couldn't do it. So I had already got the description ready and all the things. So I really just thought it was just going to be a shit fest. And I was ready for it. I was so ready to talk a gang of shit about Craig because I just was so disappointed in the way he ended it. Not about the stuff with Venita. She earned that. I couldn't care any less. I actually thought it was very honest. And like, what do we always taught when we're growing up? You know, if you've got someone that's picking on you, just ignore them. They don't exist. Don't just pretend they're not even here. Pretend like they don't affect you. Like I thought that was like the perfect thing to say. Like, you don't exist to me. That's what you say. And she shouldn't. They're not friends. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
Move on, whatever. But anyhow, I don't even know why I got into all that. But basically just to say that I ended up having to ask ChatGPT, can you throw everything we've done out? Take this transcript instead, because I just didn't think that you were going to be so like, man, what are you going to do? That's very kind of you.
Well, I think it was a perfect storm. It was the Christy Sheik's comment. It was the email interaction that I had.
Oh,
it
Christy
was
Sheik's making big differences around here. I love it.
And then a bunch of other people, right? But I told the whole story about like you can hear something 100 times, and the 101st time it just clicks. So, and then again, like I don't like. There are some times where the Jaxes and the Craigs will just make me feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And it just happens, like it's nature. But like it also, I don't know. It just the perfect storm was a bunch of comments, a bunch of interactions, and then just kind of realizing, watching some of those episodes and being like, this isn't fun.
Yeah.
This isn't a fun show. Having someone literally be like, very Nerona, be like, I don't think Courtney and Mike like each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
be like, fuck, that sucks. We really do.
You really do.
So it sucks that you think that I don't. And then somebody said the same thing about us. Like a week later, it was like
That we don't like each other.
Yeah. And I
But
joking.
nobody said that we don't like each other.
Exactly.
But I jokingly wrote back, and I was like, well, yeah, we've been together for 16 years. So, yeah, no, we don't. But we do. So
We've
it
also
just
been together for 16
yeah,
years.
totally.
So
We're in a weird throuple. But so it just like I sometimes think, and like the cursing thing, and was it Judy Murray that like is getting all the credit for?
Judy's probably so tired of us basically now referencing her every time we
She
don't
has a comment
go-
this week where that's
Yeah.
so fat. It's basically like, I'm not a prude, I just don't like F-bombs.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
when we started talking about porn, she
Yeah.
was like, and I looked over to you, I go, Nat, you're going to have to bleep this whole
Yeah.
thing out for Judy Murray. Because
Yeah.
now I'm so concerned that like we're offended.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I'm not a prude. I just have a thing with the F-bomb. And
Yeah,
I just was
yeah.
like, that's great.
But the thing is like,
Oh,
again,
and I'm sorry, one more thing. And she also watched Rivalry.
He did Rivalry.
She's like, I already watched.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, Judy, this isn't a suggestion. Don't watch He Did Rivalry.
And I said,
like-
Judy, do it. And
She's
she
like, I
did.
already watched it. Okay, sorry. Please continue.
anyways, it was one of those moments where not just Judy, like if it was just Judy, we'd still be cussing. No offense, but like
I know.
it was a bunch of people. It was enough people to where we had the conversation. We were like, okay, like maybe we take a look at this. Like so many people
Yeah.
have been like, this is off-putting, and so you make changes. One of us thought we'd be in front of the camera making our living.
Making our living. We don't. Is there
Well,
a living
you gotta put it
happening
out there.
somewhere
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I've
yeah.
not been told about?
You got to put it out there, and then
We're making.
we're-
We're just
if
waiting
you
for the
build
living
it,
part.
it will come. Type deal. Again, it's just like it was one of those moments where I was like, maybe I shouldn't be like you can be shit on Craig. The thing that Christy said was like, she also doesn't like feeling stupid, which is my
Yeah.
like big soapbox that I always get on. Don't make me feel stupid. Don't be stupid. I hate stupid. So then to hear that like, oh, I'm out here just making people feel stupid, like that sucks. So not to go on
And
the
not
whole
just
thing
people, but
again,
Christy.
but
Yeah.
Christy of all people.
Yeah, the OG, like one of the
Cover
first, like I would say she's like with the first three people we ever heard from.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even tell you who 2 and 1 was. So let's just say she's the first person we ever
That's
heard
right.
from. Yeah.
Well,
We need a
Christy-
dollar bill signed by Christy Sheets.
Carly.
Office.
Carly, I don't know. Like Carly T was, or Carlite was
Yeah.
the first person to be
But
like,
we lost her to the
yeah,
great
I don't
void.
know what
I
happened.
know.
Live long and prosper.
Anywho, I won't go on the whole thing, but it was funny because I had skipped the episode before because of work, and like that's nothing. I was saying, Xan had commented, I hate that there's no hearts on everyone's comment, and that I haven't had time to like go in and reply to everybody. And of course, this is the week. There's 350 comments. Sometimes work is going to get in the way for all of us, and the comments, unfortunately, are the thing that go by the wayside, and it sucks. But this was one of these last couple weeks. Anywho, I had skipped the episode before, and so I was like all prepared to do this whole like, I'm going to have more fun with this. I'm not going to be a brat. I'm not going to make it seem like I hate these two people. And I don't want to ruin this show. Like as much as we're having fun with it, but this is a business we're trying to start here. And and get jobs and do this as a living and quit our other jobs. Don't tell anybody. What?
Don't tell the universe that. Don't tell anyone that.
Well, the universe can hear it if they make this our job.
Okay.
And pay
Well,
us double what we're
just
making
make
now.
sure that there's a
Double what we're making now. We're not making double of zero.
No, double our normal jobs.
Okay.
Doing this
yeah.
would be nice.
I'm not saying double. Just all the zeros. Let's not. The universe isn't on a budget, boo.
Well, just to start, we're
I
going
just
to
want to
baby
make sure
steps.
the universe make sure that things happen in a proper order.
How many people have clicked
that
out of this video?
one job doesn't end before the other begins.
Listen, yeah, no.
I feel like we need to get together and get organized with our order to the universe.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Whatever, we're
Just be
just-
willy-nilly.
The universe is like a server standing there being like, what does anyone want?
Anyways,
The universe is like, can the blonde stop talking? She's confusing everything.
the universe is
She
definitely saying
asked
that.
me for
guy in the
something last
hat's a
week and then forgot she asked for it and didn't know why it came. Okay, sorry. That was a huge tangent to say that
It was just an odd coincidence that the Craig thing. It's like like the first time that I'm gonna be like, cool, I'm gonna chill out on Craig is
happened to be
possibly the worst
Yeah.
fucking thing Craig's ever done in his life. But I'm with you. Like I said, I think it was a lot of that, and then a little bit of like. I didn't mind the whole Vanita Craig thing in the beginning. I didn't mind Vanita saying her thing. I didn't mind her insinuating, like whatever. Like, you've been doing this all season. You're bringing drama. It was one of the things I said last week with you was like, we can hate her and Sally, but they're the only ones bringing any, bullshit to this season.
Yeah.
So like Craig didn't really go off until the last 2 minutes of that episode. And then it was all like, oh, we're going to get this week is when I get to shit on Craig.
Yeah.
It was.
Buying all the shots, what happens in Mexico, all that. Like, he was pretty fun.
Yeah. I think it was
wasn't.
a mix of all that. Like, there was not a real, I could have gone off on Craig about like, oh, what happened this week?
Yeah.
The end of that bus ride. But also like the horse is dead.
I get that.
Which horse?
I've beat Craig to death.
Yeah, I know.
It's sort of like now's the time. Like it's a weird time in my life.
Yeah, you
Like,
went too hard on the beef.
I did, and now, yeah. So it's like it's a reverse Boy Who Cried Wolf. Like,
yeah. No, you wasted the good surprise on the whole season.
And so now, when I really have all the right to make Christy
Yeah,
feel
you
as
really-
dumb as I possibly can, no offense.
I would fight him before
Yeah.
he would do that to you, Christy.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But I'm just saying, like now I have all the excuse to rail on Craig, and I'm turning over a new leaf.
It's like you had the winning lottery numbers for like the ticket the week earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh my God, you're the Alanis Morissette song. Like a no smoking sign on your cigarette break, meeting the man of your dreams, and then meeting his beautiful wife.
Yeah.
Happens
that
to you all the
stuff.
time.
Okay, so all of that to say, which was what I wanted to say, was that I hate that Craig did all of this. I'm hugely disappointed in him. I hate also just more things from last week. I hate that he even told Austen something that was clearly a secret that Charley and him had. He even started off that conversation with, well, she wants to be private about it. And out of respect to her, I haven't said anything, but we made out. Like, it just, I just thought that Craig shit the bed in every possible way that he could last episode, which is a bummer because he just has been working so diligently to build this slow burn between him and this girl who I think is incredibly suited for him. And I still don't know if he's ready because he's still obviously acting out in ways that would point to, you're not ready. You don't have your ducks in a row.
Real quick. If you're still saying to someone if you're referring to someone as acting out still, like if you're using that term.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
He's
but
not ready to be.
You're not ready.
Yeah.
Like, no matter
but
what
so
age,
close though. I can see he's in the final phase of that, like.
That's a child's term. Like you're like, oh, he's 10 and he's still acting out.
But I don't think that's true. I think that I watch people act out all the time from shit that that they've just been through, and you can kind of, when you're sitting back and watching it happen. Like I think that many adults act out, and maybe that just sounds elementary, but it's really just when you see someone acting out of character or really pissed about something that you're like, that wouldn't normally bother them or whatever. Like, I'm really just trying to say that they're doing something that's a direct connection, even subconsciously, to an event that happened prior in the recent past. And so I think that he does things because he was not in control of his last situation. It was a huge loss, a huge bummer. Didn't see it coming. Whether you think he should have or not, like decided that he didn't see it coming and whatever. So I hate that this happened. And I really hate that it happened off a know-nothing sentence that Sally said, because Sally, just like Vanita, has been flicking and flicking and flicking and saying whatever she wanted to behind the scenes. And we've all watched it. Everybody can say Sally's been totally ridiculous and that she was like, for all intents and purposes, in love with Craig for as long as she was, until he told her, I'm actually,
first half of the season.
Yeah, I'm actually not into you like that, but I'd love to be friends. And then she has been on a warpath ever since. So everything that he said to her, as childish as it was, and as drunk infused as it was, and not what you like, there's many things he could have said to her that would have cut way sharper than like, whatever, loser. Like, it was really the softest version of what he could have said, because had it been me and had I been of like clear mind and sober, I would have been like, listen, it seems like you're a little pissed you didn't get what you wanted. You don't really know how to deal with that. Sometimes I don't know how to deal with stuff. I see that in you, and you maybe just need to like cut your losses with this and move on with your life, because it's getting a little embarrassing for you. Like, those are things that would have actually been harder to hear and more direct and truthful and whatever. But he just said some dumbass shit because he was blackout. And we knew it was going to come because we watched this guy down an entire bottle of tequila. And
we've also
the worm and the like whatever else, and the shot glass probably afterwards.
Totally.
And some drunk
Licking
cigs. Yeah. And then you have a pack of cigarettes. Like, come on.
And then
like,
a new bottle of vodka and beers. But here's the other thing.
That was another reason why he got the cigarettes. So I was like,
Yeah,
had a little
you're like-
soft spot. Even
And
though,
because he got the beer and the tequila, that was the soft spot for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, and he was so happy to tell everyone, like, I brought all these gifts for everyone. He was
Yes.
in such a good mood
I got
stepping into it.
provisions.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got provisions.
Like,
totally.
come on, guys. But also the thing is, it doesn't matter. Yes, he was blackout drunk and drank the worm and the shot glass with it and all that stuff. Oh my God, wait, this just reminds me. I was doing a job for this guy and I was engraving these shot glasses. But he's like, you got those shotgun glasses done yet? And I'm like, they're shot glasses. He's like, I really like how the shotgun glasses came out. And I guess the real term is a shotgun glass. But I think shot glass might be like short for it. But every time I hear that now, I like twitch a little bit because it was just such an aggressive term to be thrown out
Yeah,
there.
I don't want to remember that.
And neither
I don't
do
want
I.
to start calling it that.
You can keep these extra shotgun glasses in your office. I'm like, oh my God, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Anyway, point being is we've seen him do this before when he gets drunk. He did it at Winter House. He did it at Summer House.
Yeah.
He's done it in every house
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
If there's a house,
Craig's blacked out and
Yeah.
tried to... And
Craig's burning it down.
He
That's
did
right.
it in the house Amanda and Kyle got married in.
That's right. The
Oh,
Petula's
that's
home
right.
in New
Yeah.
Jersey.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yep.
Craig, stop drinking hard alcohol. We watched you all
Dude,
all
Craig,
year.
Or stop
just
drinking.
Well, sure. No, stop drinking. Yeah, great. But like, if you're going to have a couple beers here and there, the worst she ever did was tell Austin he hasn't done anything with his life in 5 years. I just don't think that's totally horrible, because I also agree. But I don't expect you to throw all fun out forever. If you're not like a true alcoholic that's like waking up and going, give me the bottle, then like, sure, do what you must, but leave the hard booze out and just let your friends know, heads up, I'm going to be down in a sixer tonight, and I think that's like, that's all I expect. Please just put the hard alcohol away, because this is how it turns out. And it was so ridiculous.
I would be curious if he did enter into some sort of a 12-step program and stop drinking for a minimum of 1 year, what changes we would see in him. Because again, I say this all the time, I'm not diagnosing anybody, but he really needs to look at his relationship with alcohol and how he acts when he gets drunk, whether it's doing a keg stand or downing a handle of tequila. Like, it's never not been bad when he does that.
Yeah.
In one of the comments, and I have it to read, someone, I think it was Christy Sheeks actually, who said, you know, when they went to, his parents were on the show many, many years ago, and they had mentioned, they were like, now you have to be careful. Like, we have a history with like alcoholism in our family, and it is a hereditary gene.
Yeah.
So I just think like, I don't know. I think he should really seriously look at it.
No, I do
not in the way
too.
that Shep did, like really look at it.
I know. I do too, only because then I think you'd be unstoppable. That's why.
Yeah.
But I also like, I guess there's just like people that I know are like alcoholics that like your life, it will be in the toilet if you do not. Craig has been able to have all he's doing fine in life. If you want to really get on that next level, then yeah, leave the booze behind, of course. But like, I'm just saying that like I reserve my like never drink another drop again for people that wake up and go and are like panting like
Shane. Live to die drunks. That's what he always says about himself.
Like live to die drunks.
But I really do believe that there are shades of addiction. And I think that some people, you might not be Shane, who when he was drinking, he needed literally to down a liter of vodka just so he wouldn't go into a seizure to wake up in the morning.
That's what I mean. I reserve that, never do it again for that,
people like that.
Because I do respect that there's a spectrum.
Totally. But then there are also people that it's just like, listen, are you Shane? No, but like you're definitely better when you don't drink. And I feel like he might really fall into that category. And
he absolutely does. You don't have to feel that way. He clearly would do way better not drinking.
But also, like, you could say that a lot of his relationship issues do come from his relationship with alcohol. Because after all this happened, Charley said, she's like, I'm good. I've decided that this isn't a relationship for me. So whether that gets healed and they end up hooking up later, like it's affecting his ability to be in a relationship with her now. So I just think he could really benefit from it.
I think that this is kind of a at the end thing, but whatever. We can talk about it now. So I'm always curious. Like that seemed, this is totally pulling this out of my beehole. But like at what point does Craig find out or realize that Paige is with Joe? Like for real, it's coming at, like.
What do you mean?
Like at what point, maybe.
I think I think as soon as he heard the rumors, he was probably residing.
Hearing the rumors is a lot different than seeing a picture or having your friend be like, oh, it's real. Getting that. So again, I'm just pulling shit out of my ass.
He's already seen it as this is filming. He's already seen it because the first thing that we ever saw was Super Bowl, and they were hand in hand in a hotel, and both of them were taking their selfies or whatever in hotel rooms.
Definitely.
And then people were like, "That's the same headboard.
My
That's
point
the same
is
carpet."
That blow up, that kind of wasted, that kind of like with the hair and the like. That was some emotional. Drinking like that, there was something behind that, right? Maybe something needs to go to therapy. Maybe something happened with Paige. I don't know. Again, just pulling that shit out of my ass. I also think so you said Craig has been doing okay.
I mean, he's clearly like lives a very lovely life. So I just am saying, like, I don't think that like when Shane was where he was at, he'd be able to.
Shane was the homeless living in the bathrooms at Hollywood and Highland, and when he could get enough money, he got a hotel room. Exactly. And when he was real rich, he could buy the remote.
I don't think Craig is a Shane. I think that I wonder. Like what is like? So you say Craig's fine. Like he can drink. He can have these explosions. He can do.
I mean,
let me finish.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it looked like you were asking me a question.
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm just stating what you just said.
Okay.
You said that Craig is doing fine. I think that a lot of that has to do with there are people running sewing down south, right? Which I've talked about a bunch, right? Craig goes out and he works. I'm not saying he doesn't. But he's not running the company, so he can afford to kind of fuck off a little bit. However, he's probably going to get into the thing we've been talking about with Kyle is like, who are you buying beverages from? Like, who are you buying products from? Probably not Kyle, who's a drunk and being an idiot and like mean to his wife and whatever. But Craig, he's the sweet, he's cute, he's charming. He does his TikToks in his garden and like, oh, he's so dumb and cute, whatever. So like, yeah, you're going to keep buying shit from him. So we had talked about this, I think it was this season, maybe the end of last season, about like Craig growing because of Paige and me kind of throwing in there, not that I don't think that happened, obviously I do, but throwing in there his business partners also being a part of that and just being like, dude, you can't jump on tables anymore on the show. Yeah. You can't drink as much as you got. Listen to we're going. This thing's off. It's running. We're going to crack 9 figures in 18 months. Like, we need you on your best behavior.
Yeah.
And my prediction is that if I was those people, there would be nightly check-ins every night.
Yeah.
Right, with Craig. And I need you to tell me exactly what happened today. Like, straight up. Don't hold anything back. And I think that he was right. The next morning he's like, oh, I haven't done anything 2 years. I have one blow up and everyone's pissed off at me. Yeah. Yeah, dude.
There's a lot riding on you now.
Because there's a lot riding on you. There's a 9-figure business. There's jobs. These are people have jobs. If you f off and this shit goes to hell, there's got to be 30 or 40 or 50 or 100 people that work there now. You know what I mean? Like, this is for real. Yeah. You're in the big leagues, even though it might seem like you're not, because they just send you around to go take pictures. And that's probably frustrating, right? At some point when you think you're like, oh, I can do more. And they're like, just smile, dude. You're fine. We'll take care of the rest.
Easy does it, buddy.
Yeah, baby steps. He always falls with the baby steps thing. But like, I think that there was probably a check-in, not that night, because he missed his check-in that night. But the next morning, I think that Craig was in a check-in in a crisis PR meeting until 3:00 in the afternoon. Because when it's like Craig can get wasted, he's always up at 6 a.m.
That's 3 F-bombs in like
I'm sorry, Judy.
4 seconds.
But I'm feeling my Craig energy come out.
Oh, great.
He's always getting wasted, and then who's up at like 6 o'clock and doing his little workouts and whatever? It's Craig. And this time, no workouts, he had the door locked. He was in crisis mode.
Yeah.
So my prediction is when he gets on that van next week and everyone's like in the scenes from the next, when they're like, oh, all the girls were like, they didn't want to ride with Craig. And now they're both riding with Craig. I bet there's an apology in that van.
Oh, definitely an apology because of course Austin's all, they said they're never going to talk to him again. And now they're
That's what I'm saying,
riding in his van.
But they didn't show anything. So like clearly nothing crazy happened. But I also, that's what triggered my like, oh, that's because his check-in this morning was a 6-hour crisis PR meeting. And now he has to go apologize on camera and get back to fighting with Austen because nobody cares about that. You can't fight with ladies.
No,
you can't
that's
fight
true.
with women, you dumb idiot.
I just hate that he did it
No,
over
I know,
that
but
one
like,
sentence.
that's what I'm saying is like homeboy and the lady, like the other two got on the phone and were like, because like somebody's daily checking in.
No, I didn't even think about that. That makes total sense. I just want to say that I have everything that he did. I hated it. Because that's just not the guy that I'm attracted to. I like men who have self-control.
Same. It makes me feel unsafe.
It makes me
when you're out of control like that. Because then I have to be the one as the first line of defense because you're out of control.
I do totally agree with what she said. Like, he's his own person. Please don't come to me to expect me to be accountable for what he says. Like, all of that's true. But I just felt like she had really kind of towed the line with that stuff and like kind of put herself out there to like reply in strength that like, that's not my thing. Like, we have our own gig going on. What you guys have with him, please deal with that on your own time. You know, like I was proud of her for kind of saying
proud
that.
Of who?
Charley.
Oh,
I just felt like it was that she had really been like, no, I get that you guys don't get along, but that's not my thing. Yeah. You know, like I'm trying to explore my own relationship. It's why I don't talk to Sally about him because it can creep in and influence how I feel. And that's not, I don't think that's right. And I don't want to let that happen. So I'm drawing this boundary. And I liked that. But I did feel like it took kind of some balls to do that. And it was taking a risk. It was saying like, I'm going to trust him to take care of his own business. And then I just felt like he kind of humiliated her. And she's been having these issues with people. And even just like when Molly said something to her, like Molly, I love Molly. Molly can pretty much do no wrong in my eyes. And she still didn't clap back at Molly, but she answered it in a way that was like, that's none of my business. That has nothing to do with me. So I just wish that he would have, and again, he's blackout drunk, so you can't really expect him to think of anything because he's not here anymore. But it just was a bit of a betrayal to put her in that position when all you've kind of been talking about is how like you're very careful with the Sally Charley dynamic and you would never want to get in between them. And I've just kind of been hanging back and letting that work itself out or whatever. So you're aware that you do have the ability to come between these two people and put her in this position. And then again, that's why you shouldn't drink, because you know these things in sober time, in real time, you know it all. And it all went out the window, all those months of work in holding back, minding your P's and Q's as much as you possibly can as a human being. And it just, I don't know. I just thought, I hated that she kind of had to answer for it the next day. Like she went as far as she could go. And I hate it. It's so, I just hate the whole thing. I hate it how it all happened. And I really hate that it happened off of a know nothing line that Sally said, because so many people are going to focus on like, Sally didn't even say anything to him. Well, Sally's been saying a gang of shit for weeks, months, probably at this point. And this was maybe 15 minutes after he watched Charley have to get into yet another argument with her because Charley didn't tell Sally that they had a kiss, and then had to watch them in the middle of a bar while everyone's having a good time and they had such a great day watching like this thing happen that they've been talking about and everyone knows, and everyone's been calling Sally the agent of chaos, and like that all happened. That's all real. But all anyone is going to see is like, she didn't even say anything to him. And he went off on her on a know nothing, your hair looks funny or something like that. Yeah. Like it was so
You're crazy.
Yeah, she's like,
your hair looks crazy.
You look crazy.
Yeah,
like
it was like a very like nothing and cute, funny comment. Like, cause he did. There was shots of because I have to take the shots for this.
That shot in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in hindsight, it's why they put that shot of him at the bar flipping around and his hair get in there and that crazy face.
Exactly.
Is to give us context of like, oh, that's the face she was talking about. And we all said the same thing.
Yeah.
It was a crazy face.
Yeah, I have it in my photo album. It's so cute. But yeah, it's what would my mom say? Like, it's a shame that it had to go down like that. Anyway.
I also think about just that argument. The thing that really bothers me, and whatever, you could think that this is not fair and life's not fair. There are different rules for different people. I always say, there's a luxury tax on tampons. So you do the math. That's just the tip of the iceberg on how life is not fair for a lot of the time for women.
Yeah.
And I think that it really makes me angry when like a man, there's just a man can't talk to a woman in a certain way. And I get it. If you dish it out, you have to be able to take it to a certain extent. Like, I don't find it excusable to be like mocking her while she's crying, because it seems, and I'm not a fan of Sally's behavior right now. And I think that this entire season, Craig's actually been in the right with the Sally and him stuff. But in that moment when he's like, oh, we sad when we get punched back. It's just like I was with a group of friends recently. And when we, two of the friends, one was a guy, one was a girl, they got into an argument. And the guy said basically like, if you were a dude, I would take you out back and I would punch you right now.
Okay, well, let's not, the different.
No, like, hold on. Let me finish my point.
Okay.
And he, of course he's not going to do that. But like, you don't even say that to a woman, because that's not cool. And so to me, when you're just like in that space, and of course, Craig did not say like, oh, I would
that's what I was trying to say.
or,
don't conflate those two. Like they're like, that's not like getting him talking about getting verbally punched back from him getting it and saying nothing for however long. I just don't want it to sound like we're comparing the two.
No. And listen, of course, he did not say that. My point is he was talking to her like she was a man. And as much as I'm very progressive and I want to be treated like an equal, there still is just this thing, like there isn't equality everywhere. When Mike walks to his car at night, he's not worried that something could happen to him. Mike couldn't tell me the first time someone made him feel insecure about his body, which I bet you could. I bet you I could when someone started commenting on your body. Like, it's just like, whether it's weight or chest size or whatever it is, like, men don't have that. It's just, we're not equal. Like, there's just differences between the sexes. And I feel like Craig really walks the line with that. And I think that this argument is a great example of him. Listen, you can say it, but it's not cool. And you come off bad is an understatement. It's just like going after, and I'm not saying a woman is a child. I'm just saying it's like, if I was mad at a child, I wouldn't speak to them the way I speak to an adult. If I was a man, I wouldn't go up to a woman and be like, because you're a see you next Tuesday. Like, all right, then, just like I wouldn't go up to a person of a different race and call them a slur. Like, you just don't speak that way. You don't do that. And I feel like, unfortunately, even though Sally's been in the wrong, in my opinion, all season, Craig just... Yeah,
he blew it all in one night. All of the goodwill that he had built from just... Listen, and it's not like he's been perfect all season. But the most he's really yelled at anyone is Austen. And they have the relationship and the history. It's why I always say, all I want to see are these people that are real friends, because when they do get into a fight, there's so much more stakes in an argument with a friend that you have all this history with, because you're actually putting it on the line. I'm about to confront you about something that could change the dynamic of our relationship forever. It has the potential to. If you're not friends, then it doesn't really matter. No one's really losing anything. They're just getting more screen time and yada, yada, whatever. So yeah, I don't even know how I started that. What did I even start that?
Couple of conspiracy theories. I don't know how. Now I'm out on the whole. He found out something about Paige and Joe. But I wonder if, he was having so two things. A, is there a chance that Sally knew this would happen if she just said a couple things?
It was so benign, the comment, that in any other moment, because I have heard, this is also why I am kind of shifting on Sally, is because I can't remember if it was the Not Skinny, Not Fat podcast that she was just on, or if it was something else. But when she was talking about Whitner, she literally said, don't threaten me with a good time. If it's something he thought I wouldn't shoot back at that, but if it gives me more screen time, you thought wrong. She said it out loud. She'll do anything for more screen time. She's gotten it. She doesn't have any shame in her game because it all equates to more screen time. And honestly, I'm into that. I would like to be more that way, more like eye on the prize and not worrying about what everyone's thinking of me. If I see that I could get this much of a pay bump, I could get this much of a contract extension, I could get this much more story opportunities, whatever. I'm into all that. But it does make me harder on her, because now I'm like, oh, you came to play? Well, then we're going to play then. That's right. Now nothing's off the table. But in that moment, I felt like she did not know she was saying anything.
I agree. That fell out of her mouth because he did look so floppy and funny and sweaty and whatever. It was an innocuous comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why he freaked out so hard.
Because he had just watched this whole thing happen, and he has kept his mouth shut as much as possible when it comes to her. I mean,
and it's been all season.
And it's been all season. And he heard her. The last time when they were at Itchy Grass, he literally walked into the conversation, hearing her talk about going on, and then was like, okay, just excuse me, I'm just walking by. You can continue talking about me. And she goes, no, I wasn't. I just heard all of that.
Correct.
He was just up on the balcony with Austen, walked out to Austen and maybe was it Shep, and heard them talking about him and goes, do you guys want me to wait? Can you imagine just walking into any room or anywhere you go and everyone is just shit talking you? Granted, you might say, well, problem might be you, buddy. So I'm here for that too. But that's a lot of build and build and build. And so he had just watched this argument happen between a girl that he actually cares about and a relationship that he cares about. And so I think he flew off the handle because he's like, you're literally making it so hard for me to just get this girl naked. Like, I'm trying to move things forward, and I just saw you do it again. So really this whole thing, I think, was about Charley, but no one is going to bring that up. No one's going to mention that. They all were there. They all saw it happen. They were all talking about it. I think even Austen was like, Craig, look, Charley's getting into it with Sally. Like, everybody saw it, but no one's going to bring that up.
So you think that Craig finally, the straw that broke his back was her, you think that he thought that Sally was calling him crazy in front of Charley to further. Okay, so that's my question now. Is, and like, I get that thing kind of came out like very honest, like it just was a weird thing anybody would have said, and then the reaction she got, she was like, "Whoa, what's happening?" So I believe that. But in Craig's mind, do you think that he thought, like, the reaction that he gave was one where he thought what he heard was all of that has been going on for this whole time. He can't date this girl. It's been so hard. We just wanted to go out to dinner. Can you please just leave me alone so I can get to know this girl? And here we are in a van in Mexico, and you're going again. You're going to call me crazy. You're going to call me this. You're going to tell me that. You're lighting me up. You know I'm going to freak. And that's what's going on in Craig's head.
Yeah, but
right?
I think that's what she's saying. Or that's how I took it.
No, but so just in you saying that, what I should like just acknowledge is that, just like I said, he is so exited from his body right now that I guess that there is just as good of a chance that he could have heard her and just heard the word crazy and saw her face and just taken that in differently than like that it had anybody else in this entire world with a sober mind would. But I had always thought it was because like I thought that in that moment she could have asked like, can you roll the window down? And he'd be like, how about I roll you down? Like, because he had just come off this thing.
Yeah.
And he was walking down those stairs and Charley was telling him all the things. Like, I told her how I felt and I was honest about it. And he was like,
but this
great.
Was not, hey, can you roll the window
cute.
Down? It was after all of those things and him feeling this way and being drunk and being emotional and being like, kind of sitting there being like, what, say one more thing, bitch. In his head, say one more thing, say one more thing. And he just kind of turned around and she was like, you look crazy. And he heard her telling Charley, this guy's crazy. And then it total backfire. Instead of not being crazy, he chose, you want to see crazy? I'll show you crazy. And he went,
what's that from? Oh, it's
a Britney Spears song.
Oh no, it was also a Nike commercial. Because women get pegged, like, oh, they're so emotional, right? Like when Serena Williams won the Grand Slam, like for the 85th time after, like she won it once being pregnant and then came back, literally delivered the baby and was like, I'm here, put me in the game, coach. And it's all these cuts of women just like she threw a tennis racket, she yelled, whatever. And it's like, oh, they want to ping you as crazy. And then it's like a woman winning, and they'll show them what crazy can do. Yeah. And I think Craig thought he was in the Nike commercial and he wasn't.
Yeah.
But that's, I actually thought you guys were saying the same thing where it's just like, no, I've had it up to here and you saying anything, like even if it was just this, from Sally's point, just like, oh, you look kind of nuts, whatever. Like, it's not, because it's like, consider the source. I already want to kill you. You have been so intolerable for the last however many months we've been filming because I didn't want to hook up with you. And I'm just going to blow my top. And he did it in the worst way possible.
Totally. And the people that, like, I know that there are a bunch of people out there that are going to be like, see, I mean, God, could we spell it out for you any better? But these are also the same people that were just as pissed at the way he was speaking to Venita. Whereas I think if you are a person that does not like someone saying, you don't exist to me, I don't want to be friends with you, I don't care, like, move on with your life, you don't know me, I don't know you, that's it. And you're just as equally enraged by this, that just tells me that, like, you just don't like Craig. And listen, I do like Craig, and neither of us are right or wrong. We all come into these shows with like, this character appeals to me this much, and these ones do this much. Like, I can't help that. Austen, Vanita, and Sally, to me, are very, like, they only have a few layers to them. Whereas Craig, like the layers or not, I have seen an array of over so many years, and I am interested in this person. So I am going to sometimes be more like, it just find things he does interesting as opposed to like, because I'm just coming from a different
And you have more
place.
leeway when you're watching him because you like him more.
Because I've known him for longer, and the other ones just seem to be revolving around him.
Yeah.
And if he wasn't there, what would this show be?
It would be something. But
I don't know.
like,
I mean,
yeah, definitely. But like, I think that from someone who arguably likes or doesn't like Craig, again, like you could say I hate Craig. Sometimes I do. My whole thing, and everyone's gonna be like, "Yeah, bro, we heard you." Is like Craig's storyline is that he's not truthful, right? That's the story we've been being told for 10 or 11 seasons now. So when everyone's like, "Oh, he's amazing. He's a stand-up guy," I'm always like, "What? Where are you getting this information?" That being said, I like what you were talking about earlier about how like how a man or a dude can talk to a woman or should talk to a woman or anybody, but we'll just keep it in your conversation. The perfect example of that, because you said, I'm fine if you stand up for yourself. If a woman wants to throw a zinger at a dude and the dude fights back respectfully, fine, great, all fantastic. But there is a line, and you shouldn't cross that line. Those two fights happened with the same dude. In the beginning with Venita, that was a normal
100%.
Two friends who have known each other for a while. And I don't think they're friends. I'm not saying they're friends, but like, I think every friend group has had that fight at dinner where I don't think Craig was drunk or either of them were drunk, but just like somebody held something in too long and then they finally said it. And then the other person was like, "Fuck you, dude, da, da, da." And there's 20 minutes, a little snappy, and then everybody's fine the next morning. That was a perfect example of someone dishing it out and someone delivering a response.
Yeah.
Totally normal. You shouldn't fight like that with your friends, but it was totally normal. Versus the bus ride, which was, bro, you can't say that to people. You can't make fun of them while they're crying after you made them cry. That's up. Sorry, Judy.
Or like just not having the wherewithal, which he didn't, because you're right. Like when you keep saying like he wasn't in his body, like he was blackout drunk.
And it's not an excuse. Yeah. But it's just like, no, that you got it. I'm just taking all the factors into account.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's still like you make them cry. You're still going in on them. Like that's why I said like you hit brain. We hit bone. What are we doing? Just stop. This is not constructive. You're not getting your point across anymore. And I just think that like he was circling in or around very dangerous territory.
You might say that I am more grown and have a better growth path than Craig, given that last week I could have annihilated him, but I chose to take a different route, and I'm now in my Zen era.
I love your Zen era.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Christy.
Christy, what else you got?
Yeah, say more. Courtney and I will say less, and you say more.
But I'm still gonna drink this wine.
Well,
the valley's starting soon.
Okay, so after this, obviously everyone's just kind of quickly going back and forth about like, oh, did you hear what happened? This is what happened, but nothing of note, right?
No, it's
a lot of everyone just talking shit on Craig.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Well, but it's also just so pathetic. Like it just lands the point that like no one had like thank God. Like who did we hear say? It was like a random podcast that I had never heard before, but I'm scrolling on TikTok and I feel like it had like 6 likes. So I feel like nobody even knows about this podcast. I wish I remembered it and I would shout him out because this guy was like, listen, I don't know I know people aren't going to like this, but like everyone should be thanking their lucky stars that they have a Craig. And he goes, I don't want a Craig, but I'm not on television. These people can do next to nothing. And the show goes on because they've got their very own Craig who they know that all you got to do is keep throwing rocks. Just chuck a little rock over. Like at a certain point, one's going to hit. This isn't verbatim, but this was the idea. At a certain point, one's going to hit and this guy is going to lose his damn mind.
Yeah.
And then there's your episode week after week. Like, so watching the rest of this up until the minute 22, where it all goes to just the hip, like that other stuff. it was just people just orbiting this dude. And I don't know, Bravo, you might have created a monster because I challenge you to try to find an anti-Craig or like someone who is like just as hot, has things going for him, whatever. That's like to give him some comp, because at this point there's no real reason for him to change because clearly he could do whatever he wants and it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like Bravo's not like nothing's going to happen on Bravo. He's doing his job at Bravo perfectly. But it's the two. I wish I could remember their names. But it's his other business partners that are going to be like, bro, Bravo. we're going to be at 10 figures any second now, or we're going to be Kyle cooking it down the highway, right, with our bags because we didn't. You can't figure this shit out, right?
But do you think that that's necessarily true? Because it feels like his company is very catered to just like a certain kind of, like there's a bunch of women that don't give two shits about what just happened on this episode. And like I veer more with them than I do the other ones. Like I'm not totally there. Like I am like, oh my, I have much to say about it. But like, I don't know if his customer really cares. I think they're like, yeah, give it to her.
His customer doesn't, but he's missing out on a bunch of customers.
And you have to grow the business. And also don't forget, like, he is, I know he's an investor in Spritz, but he's also not the face, but like does advertising for them. I checked.
Pretty good face on those ads.
It is, but also you can't be involved in the alcohol business and be doing stuff like this. Like Bethany Frankel talked about it all the time. When she was bringing the girls, it was honestly the best trip ever when she took them to Tequila. Like I think there's a town called Tequila.
Mm-hmm.
And
they make vodka there.
Exactly. And she had said to everyone, she was like, listen, she's like, I have a real business and like I have a deal with Beam. And if I am out of control, if I bring people that are out of control, like it looks bad on them, not just optically, but I think there's real repercussions for it. Yeah. And I couldn't listen, he doesn't have $120 million deal with Beam, but like, I'm sure his investment and the way he acts affects that company being the face of it, all of that stuff. So it's not just the pillow company.
Yeah, no, totally. I am curious what like it's Claudia and Ben Oshry or Austria. Like I am curious just like, because they seem pretty like, they love Craig. They think he's great. Like they seem super tight with him. And I do wonder if like what they're, I probably look. I just watch the toast. I'm sure she talked about it. Yeah. You know, but I'm curious to know about that.
Yeah. Well, and it wouldn't even be that. Like, I'm curious who their who their partner is, who produces it, who's their distributor, because that's the issue, right? Like Bethany Frankel had a partner, but like they then sold, and she had a contract with Jim Beam, which was the issue. So I don't know. Maybe they don't have that. I'm just saying it's got to be I think this issue reaches further than just the sewing down south, like his behavior. All right. So anyway, so they're all chatting back and forth. Then it's the next morning. And really the only thing that happens when, Shep wakes up, goes to Craig's door. We already talked about the fact that he didn't answer because Mike's theory is he was on a crisis PR call.
Happens to the best of us.
And then, Shep wants him to go fishing. And when Shep goes into Austin's room, he says, I feel bad for him. And this was, Shep should have said, projection disclaimer that, and he did say, like, because I've been there and I know. The interesting thing with this to me, I get that Shep feels like a brethren, or brother in the bond, or whatever the hell that thing is. Saying is, here, besides doing ayahuasca, like, what else have you done, Shep? Because he made that huge disclaimer on that one season finale, not this past year, but the year before. So I guess 2 years ago was the one that him and Taylor had that horrible breakup on screen. And he made the announcement, like, I have an issue with alcohol and I'm seeking help, whatever. And listen, if he is in a 12-step program, you're not supposed to talk about it at the level of press, film, and whatever, the third one, media. Yeah. So I get that he's not mentioning it, but he's drinking. So clearly, like, you didn't seek a 12-step program and aren't in a 12-step program. Yeah. So I just want to know what you did that's made you this guide in this area. The Sherpa.
I mean, for Shep, I just think that Shep has always been, it's my favorite thing about Shep. For all of his faults, and he has a plethora of them, Shep pretty much every other episode or way more than not, he will put himself in someone else's shoes. He's very good at being like
empathetic.
He's very empathetic and very just like open to like, let me think about how this would feel for me or whatever. Like it's a very liberal thing to do. It's a very progressive thing to do. And so I don't know if it really takes being, you know, doing his ayahuasca-ing and his Sherpa-ing and whatever to say what he had to say. Like I don't know if I expect that he would have to have done anything else. I think Shep is that on his own. I think he's naturally that way.
No, but he said, he goes, because I've been there. So
No.
He's been there, like he got kicked out of school for, wait, what?
And also
He talked about that, but I think this was Shep revealing either what he thinks is going on with Craig or what's actually going on with Craig, which has been brought up but not a ton talked about. But nobody, maybe Craig doesn't want it out there. The bond is, which is still funny. It's still hysterical. It's even more hysterical. Is the heartbreak. Shep was heartbroken.
Heartbroken by who?
By the fake girlfriend,
Sienna.
the Bahama. No, listen.
Please.
And that's what he was talking about. I've been there. I was on the. I went out on a drunken thing.
Wow.
I was saying
that could be right.
no,
that
it
really
is.
could be
Like
right.
he thinks that they have the same like love relationship lost. That he thinks that he has the same that Craig and Paige had. Like again,
Okay,
like I
well,
said,
yeah.
equally hysterical.
The story
maybe more.
continues.
But I
It
think
never
that's what
ends.
Shep's going off of.
Okay, well, good.
I think
good
he
try.
also thinks that ayahuasca trip made him a shaman, which is why he
Yes.
planned this trip.
Yes.
And like he's like a dreadlock away from being a shaman.
And I also,
dreadlock away.
shamans don't typically have dreadlocks, I don't think, but I also am with you. Not like this is my favorite part of Shep when he
Yeah.
is kind and empathetic and just very much wanting to like be a part of the solution and mediate
Yeah.
and all of that. And like, I'll get into it more when we move into the heat womb and what other festivities that happened. But it was just interesting when he was saying all of that. And it just reminded me of like, oh, you made this declaration that you were going to make this big change, but besides doing ayahuasca, I don't know what the change is. And
Yeah.
I have real I think I've said this before on the show. I believe in ayahuasca. I believe in plant medicine. I think it is far more helpful than a lot of traditional medicines out there.
Yeah.
I also think that like there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no shortcuts. I think that you can do something like the way I explain ayahuasca to people is like it's like your consciousness, your mind, your way of understanding kind of has like an aperture on it. And if you're doing things every day, like meditation or yoga or mindfulness or having a gratitude practice, every day you're kind of opening up that aperture a little bit more and more so you can see more and feel,
Yeah.
have a better, calmer central nervous system and all of these things, right? And when you do, because you're learning and you're becoming a more balanced person.
Yeah.
And when you do ayahuasca, you kind of get this very quick open of the aperture to get a download of all of this information and all of this understanding. And a lot of that understanding comes if you every day realize like, oh, I'm so with the gratitude practice, I'm so grateful that my mother's still alive. I'm so grateful that I was able to take a walk with my best friend today. I'm so grateful I get to sit here with you guys and talk about this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Ayahuasca will give you that in one hit. And that's beautiful. But then like, what are you doing to keep it up?
Yeah.
What are you, And so like, I just get nervous when people like Shep go on TV and they're like, I did ayahuasca once and it changed my life. It's like,
Yeah.
sure. But then it's like, I went to the gym, I got this great trainer, I did this crazy program for 90 days, I'm shredded. It's like, great. Well, what are you doing to sustain this fitness this physique that you've
Yeah.
just gotten, whatever over the last 90 days. So I just like to put that out as someone who really is into all this stuff as like just a disclaimer in my IMO, in my opinion. Okay. So after this, Sally calls Madison, super sweet, to just kind of get a quick little snapshot of Teddy, and Madison seems so happy. Sally shares that she's hooked up with Austen. And Madison was so adorable when she was in her confessional. She's like, well, I didn't think I thought that would happen, but I actually thought they'd
Yeah.
No, she said something even
It was adorable.
even weird. It wasn't weird. It was just so like young. She was like, I knew that would happen. I didn't think they were going to kiss though. I thought they were going to do you without kissing? How does that happen? Didn't one thing lead to another? I was the first time like, yeah, there's moments when you get older where you're like, yeah, that's it. I'm old now. That was one of those moments where I was like, wait a second.
Sally's
kissing's the best part.
Aw, that is so cute.
Sally's recurring theme, and also like I'm picking on Sally because, like I said, ever since I heard her say that thing on that podcast, I'm like, oh, then it's on.
Game on.
So I think it's funny that her entire being, her entire existence since finding out that Craig didn't want to be with her has been all rage and making sure to tell everyone who will listen, like, this guy's bad news and he's going to do to you what he did to me. Like, I just bag groceries here, lady. Like, I don't think he's going to do that to me.
Don't even work on your show.
He's not even in this scene. It's so secondary now. The second that Austen started giving her some sexual attention, now that's the first thing. She's leading with that. Craig was never meaner to Sally, but even by a landslide than he was last night on this van trip. And it is like just this thing that happened. Like it's like a part of the conversation, but like she's not leading with it because like it only took one guy to just pay her a little attention and squeeze her boobs to be like, oh, okay, well, it's all about this now.
Craig who?
Yeah, like it's there and she'll talk about it, but like in every scene, it's just a beeline for Austen. And I just think maybe that's great that you don't, now this thing that was like torturing you before is like not a thing anymore. So hallelujah. But like,
it's very childish.
It's very
like,
childish.
You know, like a kid just is screaming bloody murder because they can't get that one thing they want. But then you're like, what about this sparkly thing?
Yes.
You love this thing. And then, then they're so happy and...
Yeah, it's all it took.
Their binkies, a figment of their imagination.
Yeah,
Kids
it's all it took.
Do you think Venita, like I know it's only been a few episodes, like maybe 4 or 5 weeks, but do you think Venita is mad at Sally because she was like, that is my storyline? I was supposed to be
Bitch stole my storyline.
Yeah, I was supposed to take down Craig this year, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's some bullshit.
Yeah, fall in line, minion. You're a freshman.
Yeah, Venita I would be pissed off if I was Venita.
I mean, I would never be Vanita. I would never do that. So
that's right. I have my own drama.
Yeah. But yeah, she probably is. And I know I say this all the time, but I've been just sort of almost just being kind of like funny bitchy about it. I really hope that Venita does not come back next year. If we got to deal with Sally, still fine. She's new. You got to give her some room or whatever. But like, I cannot watch a whole other season of the same thing
I'm
again.
with you. And I was shocked when I was going through the comments. So many people are echoing the same thing. I think our most liked comment from this last week was, I don't want to misquote XAN because I think it was her. And I think it was just like, I can't. I'm so out on Venita. I can't take another season of this. So we're in good company being out on her.
Yeah. And if I think we've talked about it before, but like, I know that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, Craig got her kicked off the show. At a certain point, I think Craig has every right to say like, I can't do this. Like I can't, if you want to see me trying to get into relationships and working on myself and whatever, like having this person over here that's just constantly like
flicking you.
Yeah. That has no other story aside from that. And aside from just going to every person here. I mean, Sally does that too. It's just that we've given Venita, I want to say like, since like 5 years at this point.
You've had enough chances to turn the ship around and give us a different version of yourself, a different storyline. I think I got this comment, and we'll talk about it when we do comments.
Yeah.
But basically just like, I had such high hopes for Venita.
Yeah.
And even this season, her 5th season on, I'm like coming in really wanting a different version of her.
Yeah.
And I just am not, we're not getting it. The audience isn't getting it. And I know there are some people out there that totally see her side. And stand her. I didn't realize that because I'm so in the camp of like, I'm done. Get it out of me. It hurts.
And I really do feel this way. Like everybody that has something to say in her defense, it so often includes race that like I will tell you, I immediately, as soon as you go there with me with her on that, I'm done with your comment because like I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not explaining it anymore. Like I'm sorry, she does not have real friends here. And if I were her and that whole dinner that happened and then no one stood up for her, Austen didn't stand up for her, Sally did after all the shit had been said. She let the whole thing go on and then just goes, you know, I have my own problems with Venita too, but this isn't the time or the place. Like she still wanted to get out there that like, I'm still pissed at you, but like,
that's right.
So it really wasn't sticking up for her. Like no one did. And she was right about Austen. But again, Austen didn't ask her to do that. Austen and Craig have a long relationship and a bunch of turmoil. Stay out of it. Be an adult. I don't know what age you got to be to, it only takes, you know, a minute to learn that like, that's not your business. Stay out of it.
But I also don't understand. And I said this, I think last week or the week before. If you're so mouthy, Venita, with everyone else about Molly's labiaplasty and how you think that Sally liking Craig is, she should put a needle into her eyeball before she tries to hook up with Craig. This is the worst thing that
you're going to get dog walked.
She's ever done in her entire life. But now we're at the dinner table and we could have a dinner table takedown. This is your moment. And now you're going to play coy about the fact that you think Austen should stand up for himself with some people. Like, no, say it. Put your back into it, girl. Like,
if you're going to go out swinging.
That's right. And so this is where I just get so confused with her MO. And she did the same stuff with JT. And I feel like the same stuff happened a few seasons before when like Leva was there and Naomi was there. And it's just like, I don't trust a character that I can't figure out, like, what are you doing? Like with Teresa, whether you like Teresa or you don't like Teresa, with Nene, whether you like her, and I'm talking about housewife people because I'm a housewife aficionado, like Nene, whether you like her or you don't like her, Kenya, Bethany, there's so many A players. It's like, but I know who you are. I know where you're coming from and I know what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Even if I don't like it, I don't agree with it. I see exactly what you're trying to do.
They're clear and they are who they are.
Yeah.
And I'm just not getting that with Venita. Tamra's another example. Like, I might not be into you on this show, but I know who you are and I know what you're going after.
Yeah.
And I'm over Venita.
Yeah.
After this, we have that yoga class, which I think is just so silly. So much of this episode, I was joking with Nat and Mike before we started rolling because I just was exhausted yesterday and I was watching this at the end of the day. And by the way, I try to go to sleep at like 9:30. So if I am up at 10:30 watching a TV show, like I'm basically falling asleep. And it was a struggle from this point on for me to even keep my eyes open. Like the yoga scene was just filler.
It all was, really.
Yeah, from this point, it all was. And like we talked a little bit about it, and we'll get more into it in a minute. The one thing I enjoyed about the yoga scene was how freaking pissed off the yoga instructor was. Like, just so obviously annoyed at these idiots and this girl coming late and this stupid like TV show. Like,
oh my God.
I don't know what was going on, but she missed her yoga class that morning.
That's right. She probably wasn't even supposed to be there. The other yoga teacher dropped out.
She was not having a good time at all.
Okay,
and
can
that
I just say
made me laugh.
something that happened with it? Because I didn't even realize that because I was literally watching it on like 4x speed.
I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, how do you do that?
Well, the 4x doesn't work well, but I listened to it on 2x because here's what happened.
I don't know, but like, how do you do, like physically, how do you do, like technologically, how do you do that?
You can do it on the
From the screener, you can do it. And I also have an app on Chrome that lets me do it for Peacock too. I downloaded an extension that's called like Peacock Speed Reader or something, or Speeder, TV Speeder. I don't know.
But 2x, like 1.5 is like, okay, I can keep up with this. And 1.75 is like, what the hell's, I don't know what's going on. But this like, one's a 2xer.
That's insane.
It's next level.
But that's because it's when I'm watching it again for something, or if I'm just watching it the first time to get the lay of the land, and then I go back and like, if I'm really trying to like hone in on things, I don't. But like sometimes I need to find something, or you know.
But what buttons do you press on your stuff to get it?
There's only a couple buttons on it, and one of them is for speed.
I didn't know that.
So we got the
I don't even know how to make
screener.
YouTube go speedier. Sorry.
You hit the
Okay, well,
settings.
play with the buttons.
I have. I've hit everything. There's only 10 seconds back and 10 seconds forward. Stop and pause.
No, the
There's a million
settings.
icons. There's a cog icon.
Okay, I gotta look at the cog. Thank you. Sorry, I've been wondering how to do that forever.
That's so crazy. Let me show you because you're definitely have time to save, and I know you're an efficiency.
That's right.
Guru.
That's
so,
why I like
yeah,
to
so I'll show it
multitask.
to you before you leave. But when they uploaded the screener,
Mike's showing me now because he wants to get the credit for the big sound.
Yeah.
Another thing up there.
Yeah.
Hit that playback speed.
Remember when a few people couldn't find the hype button?
oh yeah,
That's me. I couldn't find that. Anyway, okay, sorry. Now you were saying.
That's for YouTube.
So when we originally got the screener, the version that they uploaded on, I'm sure accident, had no audio. It had audio with the sound and the score.
It had no dialogue.
It had no dialogue. So I was watching everyone talk, but no word, like no audio was coming out. But what was funny about it is that you could see, and listen, it's not like everyone doesn't know this, but it was really funny to see like all of the sound effects that they had put in. Because you're like, oh, if I can hear this, then you've put it in.
Yeah.
So like the birds chirping, or like when she's pouring the cacao, it's like gong 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 gong. And like just some other like just like
Doors opening.
Yeah,
and
things
that is
to like
so
add
funny.
to the ambiance of people.
Oh
yeah,
my
it was.
God.
I'm like, wow, those are all sound effects that
Yeah.
are fake. Those
It actually
birds were not
wasn't
really.
thunder and lightning.
Yeah,
happening.
no,
It
there's
was
no thunder and
not
lightning
raining. It was sunny
here.
out. Yeah.
When Heated Rivalries first came out,
Yeah.
something happened on HBO where the subtitles weren't working
Yeah.
for the Russian parts. And I thought that was just like a directorial choice.
No, I thought the same exact thing. I saw that same thing and I was like, well, I guess we just have to figure it out. And then when I watched it again, they had added it back.
That's
But,
right. Like I thought they wanted to just feel what he was
Yeah.
saying in Russian. And I
That's
remember I
so
called my
funny. I
girlfriend
thought that
Julia, who
same thing.
speaks Russian, and I was like, can you translate this for me? And she was like, why? And I'm like, because I want to know what they're saying. And she's like, just read the subtitles. I'm like, there's subtitles? And she goes, wait, how far are you into it? I'm like, I finished it. She's like, you don't know the whole scene when he's in the tunnel and what he's saying? I'm like, no, but it sounded really good.
Yeah. I almost was glad that the first time I watched it, I didn't, because I did get to just follow their emotion kind of. And
Totally
and I'm
same.
like, this has got to be brilliant shit.
Yeah.
And he's laying it all out.
Wait,
and like, maybe they
but-
don't want us to know what his backstory
Yes.
is, because like he's so he's mysterious.
That's right.
And like, I really believe that it was a directorial
Wow,
choice.
I'm so happy
Wait,
you
I
had
thought it
experience
was too because the whole scene was about him having a problem, then he couldn't bet with his family and the whole
Yeah.
thing, and he couldn't talk about, and he was like, why don't you just tell me
Tell
in
me.
Russian?
Yeah. So it made
And-
perfect sense.
Yes.
Right.
No, it was a mistake.
And it wasn't that I went back and watched it and it was there. It was that I was probably watching TikTok and somebody had like, was either like watch with me, and I was seeing
Yeah.
that it's on their screen. And so then I was like, oh, there it all is. Or it was like a clip that was uploaded that was the scene. So I was, here are the captions here. And then realized, oh, they must have loaded it wrong the
Yeah.
first time and then went back and
Because I only watched it one time.
Oh my God, you got to go back
Yeah.
and watch that tunnel scene where he's confessing his love.
yeah, because then you
But
know
like
everything.
I felt like it felt like an opera. Like, well, yeah, you don't speak
Totally.
Italian, but you know what's happening.
Yeah, so I think that you probably experienced it in a way that was just fine. Like that's a choice, and because that's the way I watched it first too. I just saw later on that like, oh no, they did caption this.
Yeah.
we just didn't see it on our Netflix or whatever
HBO.
HBO.
Anyway.
Wait, okay, what
So you were
we
saying though,
talking about?
you were hearing the birds chirping and all the sound
Oh
effects.
yeah. So by the time that we got it, there was just little time. So I was like just speeding through it
Yeah.
this time to like, and what was so annoying about it is that all I wanted to know was, is Charley out on Craig? Like, cause this would be the thing.
Yeah.
And I really could barely gather. I could tell that
You said that, and it didn't. I was like, no, she seems pretty out on this.
She said
dude.
it in her confessional. She
Yeah.
goes, I've decided that I'm done.
No, there was no audio when I was listening to, I was
Oh,
trying to
when you
gather
watched-
from just
got
her
it,
like
got it.
facial
Oh.
expressions, which I thought I totally would be able to. I watched the whole thing with no audio thinking, her faces say it all. Because remember, her, like there's like memes of her faces right now because she's like so like,
next level.
you know.
This is it.
I hope she embraces it and isn't embarrassed because it's darling.
It's
but
so
it is
cute.
something that she'll probably be aware of going
So
forward, like ugly cry face, you know. But yeah, I couldn't tell, and then obviously she was out on him. But anyhow, so when I watched it today for the first time with actual things, I just was on a time crunch, so I had to watch it in 2x. So that's why I didn't even notice that I fast forwarded through their stupid, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and it was you should have fast forwarded.
Yeah.
Through it.
I mean, she did have a good point though. She was like all the other. I don't know if she said all the other times, but she was like the other times were like a proper reaction to something.
Well,
somebody
for
did
a reason.
For a reason. That's what I mean. Like somebody did something. There was a reason that he responded to that. She's like, this is the first time I'd seen that for no reason. Like,
but that's the thing. Like, and
she knew the reason.
I'm not defending Craig here.
No, that was just a weird thing to say.
But because there was, and listen, she was in the van, so maybe she knows better than I do. But like, when we broke it down for an hour at the top of the show, it is that thing where like, you know, we all have siblings. Your sibling could be annoying you and saying really hurtful, really crappy stuff to you for a week straight, and you have had it up to here, and your parents aren't coming to your defense, even when they see that, like, Mom, like Betsy just did this. Why aren't you stepping in? And she's like, I don't want to hear it. Settle it yourself. And it's like, we can't. This has been going on for 2 months now.
Yeah.
And then like you'll be in the car on the way to church or whatever, like someplace very inappropriate, and she'll be like, oh, would you claw yourself into those stockings? Like you have a hole in it. And it's just like, you're going to have to beat this. Like, and it's just like, that's what happened. Like, it's
totally. And she was just there. The argument, what happened with her, she was just walking down the steps with Craig. Yes, he then detoured to the liquor store, but like, I can't imagine that took more than 5 minutes. So like there was a reason. It just wasn't this ABC kindergarten, like, here's the sentence and here's the direct reaction. Like, you know why it happened, Charley. But at the same time, I am so turned off by this kind of stuff. So like, I get it. She got the ick immediately, and was done. And like, maybe he'll make it up to her and apologize, and it will be meaningful enough for her to take a second look at him next season. I don't know. And I also just think that that's great for story anyways. Like, and maybe this whole entire thing was set up to be a long, like, they're investing in this relationship.
You've always said that. Are we getting 2 seasons out of this?
Yeah. Like, and like, it's like when you let people get together too early on just even a show like Friends. You gotta like slow burn it out, you know?
Drag that shit out.
At the end of the day, this is a television show for entertainment purposes, and these people are getting paid exorbitant amounts of money, the Craigs of them, you know, and if he's your guy and he's not going to get fired for anything, he could literally say anything to anyone. This is the guy. So you got to find the girl that's going to, it's just not adding a new cast member. It's, I think some heavy casting went into that, of like really probably being like, who would be someone that actually could be for
Makes
him.
sense. And really they would hit it off.
Yeah. So anyhow, I that's why I don't know what to think of what she said, because I think that there could be a bigger picture happening, and she's got to be out on him right now and let him get berated in the reunion, see if he makes it right at the end,
be a shoulder to cry on in the next season.
Yeah.
Whatever. I got something to say about that.
Oh, please.
I mean, I don't know if this is the time, but I don't know if there's a time to say it. I'm starting to wonder if they're starting to add the reunion into the story arc of the season.
Oh, interesting.
Because
Probably.
there's one episode left.
Yeah.
There seems to be a lot of shit to wrap up in one episode, but they're not going to do it. They're just going to reignite the Austen and Craig thing.
Yeah.
And who knows what else. But then there's two reunion episodes. So it's like, what? That's not.
Oh yeah, do they don't get 3.
They
get
do 3.
2.
They do 2.
Okay.
Which is so funny that they give 3 to like these
All the
podunkers,
housewives.
and then they give 2 to this show. And honestly, all the shows only need 2 reunion
they don't need
Hey,
episodes.
didn't we
3
have
is a
3
joke.
of Summer House last year?
I don't remember.
We might have gotten. Anyway, doesn't matter. Just
But I just feel like they're adding those 2 episodes into the story arc. Like,
I
oh,
agree
we're
with you.
gonna leave everybody hanging on the last episode of the season, and then we'll wrap it up at the last 5 minutes of the first episode, first reunion, and then the last half of the second reunion. We'll half-ass wrap this shit up, and next year we'll come back with some new bullshit.
Craig said when the season started and he went on Watch What Happens. I don't know what the question was, but I think maybe they just said like, "Oh, so you guys just wrapped this week? How'd it go?" And his answer was, "We could have kept going. It's nothing ended. We'd still be going today if your cameras were there." Like basically insinuating that like nothing gets.
get them up.
Yeah,
Guys,
yeah,
let's do
seriously,
this. Keep
yeah.
it going.
I
We'll
know, like
watch.
I don't know, like what other. I'm sure that there are some Housewives franchises that have better numbers than Southern Charm, but I would still probably say that Southern Charm has got to be one of their highest performing
I would think
shows. So I don't know why they don't let it go longer. Like, this has been a great season. Like I've really enjoyed this
I have too.
season.
I enjoyed the season.
And I don't even know if it's because of the things that have happened. All I know is that I've enjoyed it.
Same.
Like where last season I was like so annoyed for like the last 6 episodes.
I was ready to get off the
Yeah.
ride last season. This season, I'm like, no. Why are they
Yeah.
striking everything at the carnival? I want to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
After this, we have Shep, and it's kind of 2 scenes at once, but we always got to just pick one.
Yeah.
So Shep and Whitner go fishing, and my summation for this scene was basically like, these guys are parents, and they have 2 very different views on how to parent Craig right now, because Whitner says someone needs to lay the smackdown with Craig and let him know that this kind of behavior isn't cool. And Shep thinks, no, like we're going to go do all this healing stuff, and he's got to get out some pain and angst. To Mike's point, that bolsters up your thought that like it's because Shep went through this heartbreak and that's why he acted out, and now Craig went through a heartbreak and that's why he's having this emotional moment. But I there was no big like moment in the scene for me besides just covering that's what they talked about.
It makes me just like I feel like Whitner talks out of both sides of his mouth with this stuff. Like I when Molly said like he's very good at debating things and being the voice of reason and something like that.
I think she said like not debating, but like he's good at being the voice of reason, trying to like get everyone to
just like
come to
a clear head about how to like calls it like he sees it. But it's like I see him egging Craig on in some moments and then saying everyone just lets him get away with whatever. Well, first of all, no one has ever let Craig get away with anything. Like this is a new deal. Like this, Craig's entire existence, those guys have never taken a break on throwing a punch at him if they could, and I'm not saying he hasn't but like these guys don't have an issue with telling people what's up. Shep has said that, and I've said this a million times, but this is why I think that Shep is being the way that he is. He has said several times, Craig and I are in a great place because we both decided one day to just let each other be who they were and accept each other for who each other was and to stop trying to make them something that they're not. That really is what, however many years these guys have been friends, that is where we all want to get.
Yeah.
That is where every friendship should get. And so, again, I don't think Whitner's right that no one ever calls him out. People call him out all the time. They do it behind his back, to his face, to the side, like off season, on social media, like whatever. They've never pulled a punch. So I didn't think that was accurate. But I also do notice that he will say one thing to Craig, like when he'll be like, "Oh, that wasn't directed at you, was it?" If you know that Craig is a reactionary person, why say things like that? Like it seems like you're kind of doing it too, and I don't blame you. You want to come back next season, right? So you're trying to like form some bonds and some relationships and be an ally to someone. And then, but then you say,
no, but you are right.
Stuff.
When you bring up the Shep thing, when he says like, oh, we're in a great place because we let each other just be who we are. if Austen took that stance of just, this is who Craig is, and I'm not going to let it bother me, and I'm going to have fun with the parts of him that I really thoroughly enjoy, and I'm going to step back and not engage when he gets into certain moods, emotive states, whatever.
Craigisms. And
Exactly. When he's no longer Craigie and he's Craig.
Yeah.
Great. Then you wouldn't have this argument all season. And then you guys actually might be able to be friends. Like, if Austen just could take that position with Craig, and then if he realizes, oh, if I say this to him, we're going to get into an argument because historically I've never been able to share about my love life or whatever.
Yeah.
Then just don't do that.
Yeah.
Or I bet if you could form a better relationship in these other places, maybe then you could get to a better spot in the places where you've normally gotten into massive fights.
Yeah. Like they've all been friends for a very long time. I think that it's like there's something about Shep's just out of place for whatever reason it is. He's content with things. So when you're content and you're doing your own thing, your friends, when they pull shenanigans, it's almost like it's entertainment at this point, you know? But when you're not in a good place or you're kind of like really trying to find something or work, like where Austen's at. It's why everything that Craig does just sends Austen through the roof, because Austen is looking to blame anyone but himself for why things aren't going swimmingly. And it's not just Craig, it's anyone, but it's Craig was his bestie.
That's right. If Trop Hop was thriving, if they were selling like Sewing Down South was selling, or even beyond those numbers, if he had a dope house like he maybe wants to, whatever he dreams of having, if all of those boxes were checked, none of this would bother him the same way. It just wouldn't. It's like how you always say with like the housewives, you're like, you know, when a housewife is having trouble in her marriage because of how she's reacting to all the things going on in the group.
Yeah, when she used to just be a good time girl and now everything is setting her off and she's got to tell you it's because you're out of control somewhere else, so you're trying to exert control in places that you hadn't before. And Austen is so like, he's so the guy that should just be like in constant flip-flops and board shorts with a beer in his hand and a babe on his arm. And like, he's that guy that could be living that life if like something is eating at him, something is eating him alive. Yeah. And like Craig should just be a guy that he's like, wait, did you hear that? Like, and truly laughing and making fun of him with him, you know, like, and not, and it just is, I don't know. I hope that Austen gets over it. I hope he just like finds his boyfriend and is happy with his life.
I think this is a good time to break. Everybody head to part 2.
Yeah, do it. Part 2.
Woo!